Can you imagine spending billions on one single event and still not knowing where it all goes? Yeah, that's the World Cup for you. It sounds crazy, right? But hold on, because we're about to unravel the financial web surrounding this massive spectacle. You'll want to stick around because some of these revelations might just shock you. First off, let's talk about the big number everyone throws around, $6 billion. That's the estimated revenue FIFA rakes in from these tournaments. But wait, here's the twist. More than half of that money vanishes into thin air after funding things like fancy new stadiums, security measures, and paying the players. But where is the real impact? And who benefits the most? You'd think it's all sunshine and rainbows for the host country, right? Well, not so fast. While the locals might get a taste of tourism cash, it often disappears into the pockets of international corporations. Think about it. The hotels, the airlines, the franchises selling overpriced jerseys, the profits go back to their home countries. Which is kind of wild when you think about it. Isn't it supposed to boost local economies? And then there's the issue of infrastructure. Super fancy stadiums go up like mushrooms after rain. But guess what? They often sit abandoned afterward. In Brazil, many of the 2014 World Cup stadiums are nothing but expensive ruins now. Like, can you imagine pouring millions into a building that becomes a ghost town? Let's be honest, it's a classic case of what were they thinking? Now here's something I found eye-opening. FIFA requires countries to spend massive amounts on security. Just for reference, the 2018 World Cup in Russia saw security costs soar to about $1.2 billion. Yep, billion with a B. While they claim it's for safety, some say it's more about showcasing military muscle. Who knew a football match could also be a power play? Moving on, have you ever heard of the World Cup effect? I'd be surprised if you hadn't. It's the phenomenon where host nations spend extravagantly, only to experience short-term gains. Sure, there might be a spike in visitors, but after that, it's back to normal. Post-World Cup, Brazil's economy slumped harder than a player after a red card. A financial hangover, if you will. Want to guess how they were left paying the bills? And speaking of bills, did you know that the average fan ends up spending about $3,000? Yep, that's not just for the ticket. We're talking flights, hotels, food, and sometimes even souvenirs. For the wealthy elite, it's just a day at the game. But for everyday folks, it's a financial gamble. Do you think that's fair, considering they're the backbone of support? But it gets crazier. Let's consider the environmental impact. More stadiums mean more resources taken from the planet. Wood, steel, cement. Not to mention all those flights and travel-related carbon emissions. It's a climate disaster waiting to happen. Do we really think a few soccer matches are worth what it costs the Earth? Kind of puts things into perspective, doesn't it? And here's the kicker. While FIFA profits, the communities are left with a fragmented legacy. Sure, they'll have memories of cheering in the stands, but at what cost? Think about it. The money spent on these extravagant events could have gone into healthcare, education, or sustainable development. It's almost tragic to consider. So, what do you think? Is the World Cup just a glorified billion-dollar party? Or do you believe it can genuinely uplift the local economies? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's light up that discussion. And hey, if you're curious about how to keep track of all these numbers or want to dive deeper into the spooky side of sports finance, check out the apps and tools in the description. You won't want to miss it. Keep questioning everything. Let's keep the conversation going.